Congressman Jim Banks says he will run for Senate to succeed Senator Mike Braun. It's a major development in the 2024 race.
Yeah, Banks stopped by our studios today to talk with our government reporter, Garrett Berquist.
Banks' entry brings a formidable candidate into the Republican field. He's very popular among the party's conservative wing, and he has a well-developed donor network.
And it's why I'm running for the United States Senate.
Banks is the first candidate of any party to launch an official campaign. He says Mike Braun's decision to leave the Senate and run for governor played a big role.
It's just an opportunity that at the end of the day, I couldn't pass up, especially because the last 6 years serving in the House, so many frustrating examples of watching what's going on in the Senate and just not seeing a fight, a big enough fight against big spending, a big enough fight to restore America's military and confront the China threat, a fight against wokeism.
Banks' campaign hits all the conservative high points. He pushes border security and opposition to abortion, as well as his military service. Republican strategist Mario Massalamani says Banks has a good shot at the nomination.
The conservative voters in a Republican primary are going to enjoy and like the message that he has, which is a very conservative message, limited government, and take on some of the social issues that a lot of conservatives are interested in and hear about.
But this doesn't clear the bench. Among other candidates, Massalamani says there's still a good chance former Governor Mitch Daniels will run.
If he runs, it's going to create a very interesting dynamic between a conservative like Jim Banks and somebody like Mitch Daniels, who's been an executive who's brought Indiana from the depths of despair under Democrat leadership.
Club for Growth, which has long supported Banks, launched a preemptive ad campaign against Daniels last week. Was there any coordination between your campaign and Club for Growth on that ad?
Well, of course not. And first of all, I respect Mitch Daniels. I called him last week to tell him I'm running. I know he was thinking about it. I called to let him know I respect him. I served in the state Senate in my 20s when he was at the very end of his time as governor. I learned a lot from him.
You'll be able to catch much more of my interview with Banks coming up this Sunday on All Indiana Politics. It airs at 9:30 a.m. right here on Wish TV. Garrett Bergquist, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Garrett, thank you. Indiana Democratic Party Chair Mike Schmoll reacted to Banks' announcement almost immediately. He says, in part, Jim Banks' tenure in Congress can be described as leading with arrogance and extremism and ignoring the interests of Northeast Indiana, despite his claims that the Republican Party was for the Hoosier worker. His no votes on economic investments, job creation, and historic infrastructure investments show he cares less about the future of our families and workers and more about the scandal of the day in Washington, D.C.